All right, boys, what's going on, man? Hope you're having a good spring break here. So, trying this out for the second time. Hopefully, this works out for you here. So, I believe you can see I'm on Huddle here. So, we're just going to go into our playbook and talk a little bit about some things you guys can be working on in the games coming up, and some things that we do need to work on. And Evan, you know a lot of this stuff. But being you don't, I know you looked over it, so I'm just going to talk you through it. It's really pretty simple of how we do it. It's a lot of the concepts are able to be put kind of the same concepts together quite often, where we have a play side route and a backside route. So hopefully this doesn't take too long to come up here. Of course, it would start lagging on us once I get on. So I guess I better shut some things down. I forgot what slowed me down the last time. All right. I have multiple screens or multiple monitors. So closing some different things down. So hopefully this thing will get started. All right. Loading plays here. Come on, baby. Come on. We could do it. Hopefully you guys got a practice in today. I know I was working a track meet. It was pretty windy out there. Here we go. All right. We're in the installs here. All right. So in the installs, what we want to be looking at is you want to be looking at anything that's 2017. Okay. Not looking at old stuff. Not that it's going to be gone, but we're trying to focus on 2017. And then I put together a spring pass game concepts package. And all it is I just added these things onto one kind of play. All right. So let's first take a look. I'm going to go into 2017 quick game just to kind of talk being through some of the things that we're doing here. Okay. Of how we call the plays. All right. So how we're going to call the play when we're even. So if we're 2x2, no tight ends, just double slot, doesn't matter what a running back is. We're saying we got two receivers on the left, two receivers on the right. We call it, we signaling two different concepts basically. So each concept only has a it's a three-man route concept all the time. All right. So in this case, on the left side, we're calling lightning. Okay. On the right side, we're going to call scat. Now, in this case, we also call our running backs into the protection, which is a little bit different. Okay. We signal in our protection. So here, this is a Roger call. A Roger call is for our quick game. And it means our running back's going to go immediately run a flare to the right. He has no protection responsibilities because our idea is we're going to set throw. Okay, so here we have lightning we would signal in to our quarterbacks, get the signal, the protection. So you would get the Roger call, and then we would go lightning, scat. All right, and that lets you know what's going on at the left, what's going on the right. So that's in 2x2. Okay, so let's go to our Oriole. Okay, so if we're in a 3x1 here, we always signal the strong side first. Okay, in 3x1, we signal our three receiver side first and our single receiver side last. So in this case, we're in Oriole left, we're going to signal in stick, and backside we could signal in scat, or we could signal Houston or Cali or anything. Okay, again, it's a Roger call because he's automatically out. We may keep him in, and we could give this guy a choice route. Okay, so we'll have options depending how teams play us, where we'll say, well, if they give us this look, we'll work the left side. If they give us a different look, we can work the right side, and you guys kind of have the choice to work that with. The way it works in our pass game, and we'll get into protections later on. This is our Roger protection, quick game protection. Okay, the way it works in our pass game, all right, we'll usually package a soft coverage beater, something like Irish here, where you get off coverage, can hit underneath routes, with a tight coverage beater on the backside. All right, so I think we started out with our three-man concepts here. Okay, stick, scat, Irish. So an example here would be Houston. Okay, Houston is something that we're going to call if we're seeing a lot of off coverage, cover three, where we could just catch hitches. All right, corners are bailing out. All All right, so we got a soft cover beater maybe on one side. If we were in this formation here as Oriole right, we would probably signal in something like LA, telling our running back to stay in and protect, or Oakland, and we'd signal in Houston, choice. So we'll just give a choice route back here. Okay, we may call it a slant route and go Louis. So there's different things that we do it based on how look that we're getting. You know, an example might be we might have Houston on one side, so a soft cover beater, and on the other side, we might call fade over here. So if he's tight and we think we could win, we could take that one. Or maybe we call Houston fade and we get press coverage all across the board. Well, we're not going to call, we're not going to change our audible. We're not going to, throw a hitch into press coverage. So we'll work this side and work our fade route, or we'll have Houston with a slant back here. So if we have press man, well, the hitches are out versus press man over here, but we still have our slant route on this side. So that's why we do it. We do it so we could change our looks at any time. Okay. And we'll get into all the different reads and stuff like that of what we're trying to do with different plays. But I just wanted to show you how we call our concepts and how they kind of go together. Okay, this is probably different than how you guys have called it. This is our Ohio concept, which is just a quick out. We like this throw into the boundary, but I'm showing you what the rules are for 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so all you have to know, even though slant has 3 routes on here, our slant is a slant, a flash, and another slant. Backside, if we call our signal slant, there's only one receiver. We know, well, number 1 has a slant. Our running back will usually put him out in the route. He has the flash route. Okay, so it actually makes things a little bit easier for the receivers. They only have to learn one single side of routes. They only have to learn 3 routes. There's not an automatic backside route in our concepts. So let's take a look here at our spring game concepts. And what I just did is I put them all into multiple plays. So that if we preview it, you can kind of see all the concepts together. And all you can do, if you guys are practicing and we want to work on a certain concepts, I'll show you some of the ones that we should work on, is we just call a concept here and then just tell this guy, hey, run this, But we could try to work some different things in there. Irish might be a good one, because the thing with the spring league is that since we're on a tight field, any like horizontal reads are kind of going to be out of the game. We really want to be high-low reading. Plays like this, smash, is going to be a good concept in the spring because we're reading levels going kind of vertically, not trying to stretch out different people. Mills is a great concept to work on to try to get this one-on-one route. Okay, so let's look at the plays I actually drew up. There's only a few that I kind of drew up all together, and this was one of them. Okay, notice I labeled it spring, so there's a handful of plays that we should be able to run in the spring league that all go together. Okay, so if you're looking for a play to run besides just hitches or curls, here are some plays that we could run. And this is a good one, especially the way the teams play. They all play man-to-man, right? They'll have 4 across with 2 linebackers and safeties. They'll have a safety over the top. So we could go spring Atlanta. Okay, whip routes on the outside, corners. So we have a high-low, we have a shot at a corner, and then we also have our running back just going straight up that seam. So when we're looking at, and maybe I'll actually go to a different look for you a little bit, so I can throw some defenders out there as we talk about this. When we're looking at this, right? So typically we're going to have a safety. All right, a safety here. You're going to have a corner that's tight. You're going to have another linebacker that's tight. You're going to have this guy's going to be pretty tight. You're going to have this guy's all tight up in there. You're going to have another safety, that's 6, and you're going to have a middle linebacker. Okay, so we look at this play right here. Choose a side that you want to read. Okay, choose a side to read and go. We're going to high-low this corner. If this corner squats down, we know we have the cornerback squats down, we know we're going to have a shot at the corner behind him. All we got to do is beat this guy. Okay. And it's basically a win route. Can we beat him? If he jumps this route here, well, we got to assume that we're going to have a shot at our running back going right at the seam. All right. We ran this play, I believe, against Montini last year to Valladay, and it was very successful for us. So we're basically high-low, and this corner comes up. We want to go from the corner to the seam. All right. And we just got to make sure it's a too high look, which that's every team is giving the same look at this on this play. Okay. So this is our Atlanta look. And it should be a pretty good spring play for us. Okay. So this looks like a lot of lines, right? So here's what we're looking at. Okay. So I drew it up. Our drive concept. Okay. So let me go back to our drive concept. We could talk about this a little bit. So this is our drive concept. Our drive concept, we're really trying to work when we're doing this. We're trying to work and get these crossing routes over here. Okay, we want to get these routes over here. We're not trying to hit them in the middle. We have different concepts for that, like knife, different things. What we're trying to do is we're using these routes kind of like a dagger, how we would use a dagger concept to get across, all right, so that we could have secondary reads after we read this side. Okay. So in other words, when we're doing this, we might as well, I mean, in this league, you guys might as well be an empty, no need to have a running back. I mean, put a running back out here like we're in bunch right with a money look. Okay. So what you're going to do is you guys go ahead and call a play over here, but call some deep plays. You know what I mean? Call Mills and see if we can't hit one of these big routes over here. Call a post corner with a seam. Clear this guy out here with a seam. Okay, so if we call like Poco, so he's going to run his post corner, right? He runs his seam and gets him out of there. Okay, because our Poco concept should kind of look like our Mills concept with versus two receivers. So he's going to run his post. Excuse me, he'll be on a post. Okay, and then if they're not open, you're going to have these two drag routes coming for you to hit. Okay, so your eyes will bring you to the same side. We end up with 4 routes over here on the same side. All right, hopefully that's making sense for you. So I could, instead of having a Poco concept, maybe you don't like that, call things you know. Okay, what do you know? I know you guys love, what the hell is that? I know you guys love this concept, all up switch. Okay, run it. Let's see if we can't hit one of these 2 vertical routes going up the seam on a switch route. Let's see if we can't get this safety to jump this guy. Now, the one thing you got to teach this guy to break, if it's versus a too high safety, he's got to break it to the middle so that the safety jumps him and we're one-on-one over here. If we don't have these routes, again, you're going to have your drive concept coming back to help you out. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. If not, ask questions. You could post them up on this channel here, and we could talk about them. So let's look at this rule here. So in our drive concept, this is our regular drive concept. We're going to tag one of the guys on the shallow. Okay, we're going to tag one guy on the shallow. Number 3, how we're going to install this, number 3 is always going to have a vertical route. Number 3 is vertical. So 1 or 2, depending on who we tag, okay, the guy that's tagged has the shallow cross. That's at the feet of the D lineman. It's very shallow underneath the linebackers getting across. And the other guy, the opposite guy, has to get a dig getting across that field. He's got to bust his butt to get over here. Okay, so that's the concept that we're looking at, that we kind of need our guys to know. Okay, so I'll show you the other one. So this is rock drive. When we signal rock, just the word rock, it's a different rule than how you guys have done it in the past. If we say rock, it means he's got an automatic shallow cross. Okay, it doesn't mean I'm talking about this side. If I said Y, it would mean he's got an automatic shallow cross. If I say Z, it means he's got an automatic shallow cross. So let's look at the other way we're talking about it. So here is Z drive. Okay. So what I just said was Z means he's got the shallow cross. This is receiver number 1, number 2, number 3. On our drive concept, our base rule is number 3 has to do the drive or the vertical route. Okay. And then based on who we tag when we call drive, the other guy that's not tagged out of 1 or 2, he has to dig and get across. So here it's Z drive, shallow cross. He's got the digging across. He's got the vertical route. Over here, what are you guys going to put over here? You're going to put a Mills concept. You're going to put all up concept. You're going to put all up switch concept. Okay. There's other things you could do. Poco. Okay. Post corner with a post. You could do divide, which is a post and a corner. Okay. You could make shit up over here. Hitch and goes, both sides, or post, hitch and go. You know what I mean? So we could hitch and go him. And if it's not open, okay, we got the crossers. We can do a comeback. If it's not open, we got the crossers coming. All right. And if you want to, you can just have one receiver over here. If you don't know what to do at number 2, have your back. Just have what you could do, have your back just wheel opposite. Okay. Hey, run a wheel opposite here and have just one receiver here doing whatever concept you want. All right. So let me talk you through that again here. Okay. So if we can get this drive concept in and get our receivers to know it, I think we got some good kids that'll be good at this concept. All right. It'll also be good for us if when we naked out of stuff too, to have that in, they'll understand it. So I got one receiver in, I got one running back in. Okay. So we can we know we're going to run our drive concept over here, Z drive. Okay. If you guys want, just call it one way, for a week until kids get used to it or whatever. Z drive. One's got the shallow, 10 yards and across, vertical. Okay. Over here, run whatever you want. Want to run a hitch and go? Boom. Hitch and go it. See if we got this shot, right? If the safety comes and jumps over to help, what do you have? You have a deep, shallow route coming across. If it's covered, you got the short, shallow route as your check down. So it's really easy route. Okay. You don't want to do hitch and go. What do you want to do? Sluggo, slant and go. Sounds good. Let's do it. Okay. You want to do a post him up, post corner him up, come back it up. Okay. A lot of different options of what you can do with this receiver to try to get him open. Back. All right. You could take him and either flare him out, or another option is wheel him up the sideline. Or wheel up the sideline and come back, and he could be like a late breaking route for you. So you could play around with his route, and just get this call in as your backside stuff. So in this case, let's just say we're in a bunch right. I'm just going to show you how we would call it in a real game. Okay, our call is going to come on this side first, simply because it's a strong side. So we would call this bunch right. We're going to tell him what to do, right? So we would probably, in these kind of drives, we're using copper protection. Okay. We would say bunch right, copper wheel. That tells him he's going to wheel up the sideline. Z drive, Mills. Is that a lot? Yeah, but you'll get it. Okay. It tells everybody what they're doing. And we do the same thing a lot of times. We just mix up how we do it. It's not like we're going to have 20 million different concepts. As Evan can tell you, we might add, one wrinkle a week, but we're going to run the same concepts out of different kind of looks over and over. But the fact that we can mix up the two sides kind of gives us unlimited concepts. So again, this whole play here would be bunch right. Okay. Copper wheel. All right. Copper wheel means we're wheeling the copper. If we just call regular copper, he would just flare out here. Okay. So let's just say bunch right. Copper tells the back I'm going to the right. Z drive, Mills. Okay. And then we have a nice play in there. Okay. So our other concept is our mesh concept. Okay. Now we're going to have a backside thing that we do with this. We're probably always going to call it drag on the backside. We'll put the two things together. Okay. So our mesh concept is a little bit different. When we have our mesh concept, we're going to have crossers coming across the other way. So on the mesh side, we're going to have a 4-yard drag and then we're going to have an 8-yard sit route in the hole. Okay, so that's our mesh concept. And it goes with drag. We're always going to pair these two. We're going to pair these two with drive, like our drive, our drag, and our mesh. We're going to pair them together quite a bit. So on this side, you see we have our mesh concept. And what we do is we call mesh on one side, and we would call drag on the other. So here now we have, you know, a guy underneath our linebackers with a post. So now let's just imagine this, you know, with our mesh concept in there as well. Okay, so I'm just putting 2 other guys in there. So in this case, we're going to run drag over here, and we're going to run mesh, right, over here. Okay, and we would probably, what we'll probably do, or what the plan is to do, guys, just so you know, is initially what we're going to do a lot of times, we're just going to swing him out. We're going to swing him out, swing him out, swing him out, right? And run our mesh concept, and then eventually we're going to wheel him up. Okay, and we could actually swing him up, swing him out either way, and that way we're going to get guys going out, and we'll talk about, you know, how these rules work. If we're playing, you know, if teams are going to, we're envisioning teams playing a more man-to-man on us this year, and that way this will be a good man beater where we got a lot of crossers, a lot of different stuff going on. So that's how those two are going to go together a lot. So you'll understand mesh drag is kind of going to end up being its own, you know, play. We call it this way so that we don't got to teach, you know, these guys to teach to put all this together would be pretty freaking complicated. The guys who are going to have to know that it fits together are our quarterbacks. The receivers are going to have to know 2 routes, 2 different names, instead of knowing, oh, it's Z drag. So then what do I got if he's doing the drag? We're eliminating all that thought process. Okay. But again, this is another one we could put in that's really put in easy is our drag. It's a drag, you know, with a post. Okay. So we could run anything we want over here, and you know you're going to have a drag route. We could send your back out this way, get some little cross action going on. You know, Atlanta over here, or drag Atlanta. And so now we've got our Atlanta reads, and we've got our drag route coming. You know, so if I drew this one up, right? So here's our Atlanta. Here's going to be our corner. Okay. Our rule for our running back in Atlanta is to run this seam here. Okay. So now look at what we just did. We just created a brand new play, but all we did is run 2 concepts that everybody already knows. So we don't have to draw up a whole new play here. We just call what we've already got. So you can see the diversity that just a handful of plays has caused the look that the defense gets. Because they're going to have, when they practice against us, they're going to have a whole new play card drawn up for this play. They're going to call this a brand new play when they draw it up. They're not going to have the ability to just call things on both sides and have it switch up. So here, going by our rules, we would be copper, drag, Atlanta. Okay, so you can see how everything ends up fitting together, where we really end up with 4 receivers on this side with a backside post. Okay, as opposed to this being its own rule, where in Atlanta we're always going to run drag. Well, we're not always going to do that. Okay, sometimes we'll run, you know, Atlanta with Cali over here, cover 2 beater, cover 3 beater. So it'll be a lot of fun. So let me change the route again just to show you what I'm talking about here, where we could run Atlanta, okay, or Atlanta, and over here we're going to run our Cali. Okay, and how our rules would go. So we got Cali. This would be copper, Cali on the left to right, Cali, Atlanta. How our rule goes for this, well, this is a cover 2 beater over here. So if there's 2 high safeties, we're going to read the Atlanta side. Cali is a cover 3 beater. 2 high safeties, Atlanta side. 1 high safety in the middle, we got to read this side. And then we're okay. All right, so we got a play that's built in versus no matter what defense that they decide to give us. All right, if they're playing man-to-man, technically, heck, we got 3 man. We got a man beater here and a whip route, which is a man beater as well. So we got routes that can beat man, you know, or zone, and we could beat either zone that they put in us. So let me discard that play there. All right, so back to the spring again. Talked about this. Atlanta. Pick a side to pick on. All right, check the alignment of the safeties and know, hey, I'm going to see how this corner plays. Corners up. I know I'm going to work a corner route to my seam route by my running back. Okay, so here's back to our drive concept. Okay, so we got rock. Okay, now this time we're just not out of a bunch look. Okay, we're out of a compressed formation. We do want to compress our formation down. We're going to do quite a bit of that this year. Okay, compress our formation down and run rock. He's going to do the shallow. He's going to get across, or excuse me, since this is the left, all up switch, rock drive. Okay, I put a wheel. The wheel should actually say copper wheel, not drive wheel. So I'm going to actually change that name for us a little bit. Okay, so when we put, okay, why is that? When we put wheel when we say wheel after our protection call, we're talking to the running back. Okay, when we call wheel after a different play, like if we said Cali wheel, we're talking to the receivers running Cali. Hopefully that'll make sense to you as we go. We never had problems with that. Okay, there's no one else can run a wheel route over here. So this is why it's copper wheel. All up switch over here, rock drive. And this will be a nice play for us. Vertical routes, crossing routes, and possibly a backside go route. If they're playing man to man, everybody jumps everything. You're gonna have a running back, by himself. So he could be here. Notice he's number 3, right? 1, 2, 3. In our rules, number 3 is a vertical route, and he's running a vertical route just from the backfield instead of the line of scrimmage. All I did here was flip it. I just flipped the play. Notice the name call changes a little bit because we're calling the left side first. So now we have gold wheel. Gold is telling the running back what way he's going. He's wheeling up the sideline. Log drive, okay, shallow 10 across, and on the right side, all up switch. Same concept, same cool play. This is why I put this in there. This is a good play for you to run at this because you end up with four levels vertically, okay, a vertical stretch as opposed to trying to stretch the field left and right. Okay, this is the same idea again. All right, same idea again. All I did this time was what? Okay, left side, we got Mills, okay, which is double post for us. He's got to cross, get inside that safety's face. We end up with a one-on-one matchup over here. We love this play. All right, we hit it, with Ricky or Murph is a great play for us because he takes the safety out of the way. So our read on this is we read this safety. If he doesn't jump our first inside post, we hit it. If he jumps it, we're one-on-one. So if he's not open, if he's even, he's open. That's the way you guys got to look at it. But if for some reason this guy's getting jammed up, right, and this safety's helping over the top, what are we going to come down to? Our crossing routes coming back. Our crossing routes coming back. Okay. And here it is, just flipped again. All right, so we get gold. All right, now we've got Y. Okay, drive. Y's got the shallow now. Our log's got the dig, and we got Mills coming over here. Same play, just flipped it around so we get both sides working and to get all our routes there. Okay, so, for right now, I would say, hey, let's see if we can't get in this week. Okay, work to get in this week our drive concept. Okay, this week, get our drive concept in there. All right, get our kids to know this drive concept. Get them compressed down. Okay, and getting across this field like this. And then next week, the week after that, now we can work our drag mesh concept. Okay, because drag mesh concept, you can see it's a little harder to put in without, talking about it a little bit and letting the kids see it. Okay, so now we're back to our drive concept, okay, out of a bunch look. So we have our copper wheel, okay, rock, it's got the shallow, rock drive, shallow, 10 and across. Third man has the vertical route. Poco, post corner. We're reading this guy. We want to win here. If we can win here, we take it. If we're not winning, we can't make this throw, we check back down to our crosser routes. And in spring league, such a short field, Poco, this to our vertical routes on this other side. All right. Here's a dog he's going off. Okay. Same thing, flip the other side here. We got our log drive. Okay. Gold wheel, log drive, Poco. So we got a chance where we could hit either one that we want to hit. Okay. So hopefully this all makes a lot of sense. Hang on, I got to shut the door here. Hopefully this makes sense. What I'm going to do right now, I'm going to share it onto YouTube. It's going to be on YouTube. I'm going to set it so that it's a link that should only go to you. And that way only you guys can, only people with the link can view it. So it's not going to be public. I'm then going to probably take it off of YouTube. Okay. So go ahead and put any questions. You could just go ahead and comment it right on that YouTube thing that we're both looking at it. I'll answer it. All right. And then, you know, we can talk again. Hopefully I'll see you Sunday. I should be there. So that means you got to watch out now. If I'm there, I better be able to see some of this drive concept, and then just have fun with the other guy. You know what I mean? Come back and go. Let's call it a stutter and go, post go, hitch and goes, sluggos and goes, fade routes. All right. And then get our crossing routes and just destroy teams with trying to pick on different people. And then when you want to add other stuff in, there's something else you're seeing out there. It's for, I want you to have fun, but I also want you to learn too. So your only goal to learn this week is let's get some freaking fun out here and let's learn this one concept, make sure the kids are getting across, and everything else, have fun with it. And then next week we could play them out with the drag mesh concept and go from there. All right, boys. So hit me back up. Feel free to text or comment on the video of what minute you're talking about. That could be a little bit easier for me. And we'll see how this video even turns out. It's the first one. If it works out, you know, we'll be able to have meetings, you know, we'll figure out ways to meet like this, you know, if not getting us on a different channel or something. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.